Welcome to Zahera Speaks, a daily awakening check-in podcast. I am Sara Treadwell, and I'm really excited to be in this space with you to offer support and guidance through this great awakening. I am an awakening coach and spiritual guide, a psychic medium and channeler. I've been channeling Zahera since 2021. She is a non-physical being who is here to offer us support through this great awakening. I'm really excited to be able to hold this space each day for us to receive a message from Zahera to support us during this great awakening. Thank you for being here with me. I'm sending you so much love. We have had a really great week talking about secret codes, unseen codes that exist in our reality that we're beginning to understand more. And I'm actually really excited because the more we talk about it, the more I can see how these different layers of awareness are a part of the awakening in a way that's so subtle and integrated. It could feel, we could miss it. We could miss it completely. I mean, we're not missing it, but you have to kind of live it to see it. I've noticed the last few years where I can hold more emotions simultaneously. I can hold joy and sadness and grief and frustration and confusion kind of all at once in a way that I used to hold more so one emotion for a period of time, really process that, and then I'd have a second emotion that would show up. And not only do I process multiple conflicting, what would seem emotions at once simultaneously now, but I also move through them much faster. Where, several years ago, I would have spent a week working through, or more, I think a week is even low, like a month. It could be like a whole month that I'm working through on something, or longer. And now I can move through things so much quicker. And I'm not saying they don't come back up or that there isn't stuff to work through, but it's just a different way of processing. And also seeing, which is what we're talking about this week a lot, the different awarenesses around what's going on, having those different layers of understanding all coming through very clearly. So I'd love to ask Zahera about this idea around this experience, where this expanded way that we can interact with the world, and any insights she has for us on that. Yes, very good. Very good. Yes, this week we are having a wonderful time discussing the many codes that are present in all the different layers of existence. You, as you expand in your awakening journey, you are coming online and having the capacity to understand more and more of the subtle layers that are in existence here, that are always here, that are built into the code, but you are able to see them more clearly. It is like the cameras from a long time ago. They took a photo and you could see a beautiful picture. But now your cameras have so much more clarity. You can see with such greater detail and depth, because the technology, the abilities of the technology have expanded. Yes, it is the same way. So yes, you could take a photo a long time ago and we still value that photo, and we can still see something there. Yes, that's important. But now, to have a photo, it is clear and crisp, and you can see the detail and you can understand. It is like you are living the experience. Sometimes in a very real way, you can feel almost as if you are there in the moment in this photo. Yes. That is what this is like, this expansion experience. And it is a natural and gradual process. Again, we have talked about clearing the shelving that exists within you as you integrate and heal. You are expanding and holding more of your own light, holding more of your own self, your own being in your body. And as you do this, you naturally have more capacity to see, because you are radiating and shining your own being at a higher rate. It is like if we think of a light with a dimmer switch, you are turning the light up. And so you can see more. Simultaneously, the world around you is getting brighter. And so not only are you shining more brightly, but the area around you, the world you are moving through, is shining more brightly. And so you can see with more clarity. Yes? And you can experience more and more layers because of these, we'll say, use the analogy of these lights, that you can see more clearly, you can understand, you can hold more. You are building your tolerance for this expansion. The other beautiful aspect of this is you are growing beyond the polarization of the duality you have been experiencing. Yes, so there is a purpose to separation and duality. We would not want to take that away from anyone. We would not want to minimize the value of being in duality, of being in separation. While separation and duality are also two separate things, but for the context of this, let's think about it in the sense of duality being 2 points far apart from each other, right? You have good and bad, and they have a wide space beneath them. And as you move through the awakening, you can imagine the infinity symbol, the moving between these 2 points, the motion of this infinity symbol moving from good to bad, to good to bad. And you can blend these energies of duality together, holding the spectrum simultaneously versus keeping them as separate fixed points that cannot be held simultaneously. It is a part of the expansion to be able to hold many aspects of reality simultaneously. Others who are not there yet would not benefit from this experience because they are still benefiting from holding the duality separate. There's no problem with doing that. That is a purposeful experience that there's a lot to learn from and to experience there. But those of you who have completed your work with this level of separation, you will now be able to be experiencing the world through this more blended experience. And yes, you will hold joy and sadness, remorse and gratitude and grief and humor all simultaneously. You will move through your growth very quickly because you will be able to clear it and see it and transmute it at a faster speed. Again, I'll say this is like a computer. This is the difference between a computer in the 1990s and a computer now. This is the difference between a computer without the internet and with the internet. There are different processing speeds. And as you heal, as you awaken, it is as if you are having a higher processing speed. And so you can naturally see the images more clearly, process the data more quickly, hold an expanded view of what is going on in each situation. This is a normal part of the awakening. It is a natural evolution of the human consciousness. Yes, very good. That is all for today. Thank you for this opportunity. Many blessings. Okay. I love this topic so much. This is such a fun adventure this week. We're on moving through. And it's interesting the ways that old messages are coming up that are in sync with this as well. The message yesterday, which I didn't even get why that was the message we needed until I was editing it, with the nature spirits. It's interesting because I didn't understand why the nature spirits had to be the next message for Zahera Speaks. And then realizing, oh, this is another area where there's codes in the frequency that we're hearing. I had this week also posted an old, from a year ago, message from the Galactic Federation. And, it was a message from the Galactic Federation, but it was hand motions, a hand motion attunement. And the audio actually got corrupted in that video. So you couldn't hear me talking. I originally had talked through it, and in my editing process, something happened to the audio and it stopped working. So there was some music over it, and I just saw the hand motions. And when I rewatched it this week, it was so powerful still that I reposted it on TikTok this week. And someone in the comments, thank you to this person, pointed out how interesting it was that video also came up and was holding these codes through physical movement and energetic attunement. So we are deep in the lesson this week, and it's very exciting. We have channeling Q&A with Zahera on Saturday. That is, if you're listening to this live, it'll be today. It'll be today. So we're having a live channeled Q&A with Zahera today at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the Great Awakening Collective. So if you're already a member, you just go to events, and it's just under events this time. And if you're not a member, you can join. There's a link at the bottom of this video in the description. So I hope to see you there. It's going to be a great time, I'm sure. Sending you love. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I love connecting with you, and I'd love to know any questions you might have for Zahera. You can send me your questions to zaheraspeaks@gmail.com. If you want to connect more, make sure to follow me on TikTok, YouTube, and Substack. And if you're looking for community, join me in the Great Awakening Collective, a private community for those on their awakening journey to connect, grow, and learn together. Check out the specific links in the description of this episode. I'm sending you so much love. Until tomorrow.